We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides.
What do you make of his statement? Did you hear a dog whistle in that?
Oh, I did, of course. I think the far right has, since the beginning, used propaganda and spinning to call the left wing the haters, or to call them the bigots or the racists. As far as what I saw yesterday, I saw only one group or one movement ram a car into people and murder somebody. I saw one group carrying swastika flags, and I saw another group of American citizens who were standing up against something that they believe is undemocratic and un-American. So for somebody to say, especially the president, to come out and equate the protesters that were there to the neo-Nazi demonstrators, to me, is not calling it how it is. And I would love to hear the president call out white supremacists for what they were doing yesterday specifically.
You do not sound like somebody who has lived and breathed that ideology, that mentality. What does it take to change the hearts and minds of members of these groups?
You know, it really, for me and for so many other people, it really comes down to receiving compassion from the people that we least deserve it from when we least deserve it. I had the opportunity to meet Richard Spencer. I sat down with him for 2 hours after I spoke in Whitefish, Montana, after the town was terrorized by neo-Nazi trolls. And I can tell you that had I punched him, or had he punched me, and I'm talking about 25 years ago, I would have come back angrier. It would have polarized us further. And what we need to do is start with the common ground. And I know it's hard for people to believe that we actually have some common ground with neo-Nazis or with haters, but we do. We're all Americans. We all want happiness. We all want to be loved. We all want security. And we need to start from there and stop blaming each other for the problems that exist in the world, when 99% of the time, none of us are responsible for those problems. We're in this together.
Was there something somebody said specifically that woke you up?
You know, it started with the birth of my children. When I was 19 years old, I got married, and I felt connected to the innocence that I lost at 14 years old when my son was born. There were people, after I opened a record store to sell specifically white power music, which ended up being 75% of my revenue back in the early 90s, I started to also sell hip hop and punk rock and meet the people that I thought I hated. For the first time in my life, I had a meaningful interaction with African Americans, or with Jewish people, or with gay people. And I suddenly realized that I had much more in common with them than I had in difference, and that the differences were only there to really, add more flavor and add culture to it, and appreciate rather than polarize us further.
Well, Christian Picciolini, really appreciate your time, and thank you for bringing